Let me get you guys lower. See if Jennifer joins. A few more minutes. Until then, you guys can just go ahead and kind of move around and warm up. I'm really excited to use my new Jiu-Jitsu Dummy today. Okay. My dummy is nice and heavy too. But he's small. It looks like a child. 5 foot. Should have got a 6 foot dummy. Like a little monkey. Oh my God. Well, I'm excited. I finally get to play with this dummy today. The only thing is that this skeleton hand, I ran out of duct tape, so I could only tape up one hand. But his wrists move, his elbows move, he's got shoulders, he's got knees, he's got nice feet to toe hold. He's got a nice heel to heel hook. So it's gonna be a fun dummy to play with. And it's pretty heavy. Like, this is a pretty heavy dummy. I put weight in it. It's got a nice weight. Just need more duct tape. All right, well, it looks like it's just gonna be us today. Completely understandable that today is President's Day. I'm gonna turn the camera up so you guys can see my face. It's President's Day, it's a holiday, and then also yesterday was Valentine's Day. So thank you guys. I really appreciate you joining me on a holiday session. We're gonna continue our lessons from last week, which is the back and that funky way to pin the arm. Solving the problem we found when we're trying to fall to the chokes. We're trying to get the person to fall to the choke side and pin the arm with our leg. If you guys remember, it was really awkward to get into that position from the back, from the traditional straight jacket or backpack position. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna show you guys, well, one, just reinforce and remember how easy it was to fall to the opposite side, the open hand side, the traditional side that people want to go to escape to pin that arm. And then two, show you a better way, a more optimal way to get to the arm pin position from the where the person's falling into the choke side, right? And then I'm going to break down some lessons I learned from Danaher on why the traditional straight jacket of falling to the choke hand is actually not effective or efficient. So first go into that. And it'll be useful too, more useful than with my heady dummy with Sarah and Cha after I demonstrate the move. So you can see with an actual live person how the weight will be falling. This guy's pretty heavy, so I imagine even with him, it's going to demonstrate, right? So traditional position for the rear naked choke. Oh my God, this feels so much better than the dummy actually having an arm to grab onto. It's just, he's so small. It's like I'm trying to choke a child. So this traditional position where I have the rear naked choke, we know traditionally we want to fall this way, right? The problem with falling to this position, and let me fall down. I'm not sure if you guys noticed, but this, when you're rolling, how stuck you feel because the person's lying on your leg and they're lying on your choke arm, and they still have this free arm, right, to play around with, to try and defend and pull your arm off, okay? So we tried to solve that problem last week, and I've been able to do this in rolling by trapping this arm right here. I have this position, and the person's trying to reach up, but I get to trapping the arm before the person grabs my arm. If they're already grabbing my arm, especially if it's a guy, I'm gonna lose that battle. Okay, they're gonna be a lot stronger than me, and there's no way I'm going to be able to get my leg up and dig my heel out to get to the arm. I have to be so sensitive to notice the person trying to move their arm and try to attach to my choke arm and trap their arm before they get there so I can fall to the side. The other thing is, as soon as you trap this arm, the person's not going to allow you to fall to the choke side. Most people are going to fall to the open side. So you're going to be in this position, and then they're going to walk over and you'll start to set up the crucifix. That's typically the reaction. Nobody is going to allow you to pull them. Most people aren't if they have been training jiu-jitsu a while. They're not going to allow you to trap this arm and then also let you fall to the choke side. That just, first, they're never really trying to fall to the choke side to begin with. One, most people are hip. They're like, no, we really want to get us that way. And then two, their arm is kind of behind their back, trapped already. So it's just, they're already feeling that this is really bad for me to fall to the choke side, right? So your typical reaction is, once you get here, people are going to be falling to the open arm side. And you can still finish the choke by keeping your chest attached to their back and bridging and hipping in and pulling your elbow back. So you're going to keep your head attached to their ear, shoulder attached, arm attached, and pull your elbow back to finish the choke. So Sarah and Cha, do you mind demonstrating those things for us really quick? My two live training partners. All right. Here. Again, you want to try to get your foot behind their body. So really try to take your foot. Yes. Now from here, you can keep your chest attached to her back, kind of bridge in, and pull your elbow back to finish the choke. There you go. All right. Nice. Better angle, your head's facing the camera. So kind of like your feet, Sarah, facing the blue mat, right? So she does it the same way. Right now, her feet will be facing the camera. So if you turn the other way, Sarah. There you go. Yeah. So then when you take the back, just take the back the exact same way you did, then your head will be should be falling towards the camera. Yeah, so she's falling. You just kind of gotta, because you're out of the frame a little bit, Cha. Just kind of adjust and then turn just a little bit. There you go. Turn your feet just slightly to the back corner, Sarah. So walk your feet like this, just a little bit. Yeah, there you go. Boom. Yeah, that's good. That's a good angle. So kind of bridge in, make sure your chest is attached to her back. There you go. Nice. So that's the choke. The second part is to demonstrate, Cha, is when we're in just the traditional straitjacket position and Sarah is falling to the choke side. I just want you to kind of demonstrate how Yeah, they're perfect. The inefficiency is, oh, without trapping the arm, So go back, just traditional here. So we're just falling to this side, boom. And now you're trying to get the rear naked choke from this position. You can feel like that how Sarah, if she's actually somewhat trying to defend, not too much, Sarah, she's going to be heavy on that leg. So it's going to be difficult for you to use your leg, not even trying to step over yet, Sarah. She's just heavy on that leg. So it's going to be difficult for you to use more power, as much power as you need to finish the rear naked choke. And on top of that, she still has that bottom arm to defend, right? And this is kind of the traditional position we're taught to finish the rear naked choke, but there's deficiency here. One, she's lying on your leg, she's lying on the bottom leg. It makes it difficult for you to be mobile with your hips to keep her trapped. So it's a lot easier for her to kind of slide out and defend. And then two, she still has that arm. She still has that arm. And it's way too late for you because she's lying on that leg. It is too late for you to use that leg to trap that arm or do anything to isolate that arm, right? Way too late. So going back, that's when we have these two positions. The first one is you can, instead of falling to the traditional side, in the choke side, you can set up the crucifix. You can initiate it. You can just get her in the regular straight jacket position. Boom. There you go. Now we're gonna fall. Oh, switch your feet. So switch. So you guys are facing the opposite way because we're gonna fall the opposite way this time. There you go. Yep. So this time she's gonna fall to the open side, right? You're gonna make her fall to the open side and trap that top arm, that free arm with your leg. Yep. So you can either, because your hips are open, child, you shouldn't have to use your hand to go back one step. Boom. You have the choke already. See if you can dig with your heel. Nope, short arms. She can open it up and then dig it out. Okay. Now you can start to attack into the position. Same thing we just went through. From here, from with your bottom leg, and you can still try to finish the choke here with your bottom hook still attached, or you can finish the choke from when they're sliding out and now you have the crucifix. So either position works. Finish the choke. Okay. All right. Amy, ask all the questions. Do you have any? No. So we'll just review that for now. So we'll just review those positions, and then we'll come back with the new way to enter into getting the person to fall into the choke side with the arm pins, a more efficient way of doing that. All right, ready? 1, 2, 3, clap, clap, clap. All right, and go into it.
One more, and then we'll all look in. You keep going, Amy, until Sarah finishes. All right, everybody look in. Finish this last rep. All right, so we know if we get the person falling into the choke side, the choke will be tighter. We just know that, right? Gravity is allowing the person to just fall into the choke. We also know, if you've been training jiu-jitsu for years and years and years, trying to get to the person to fall to the choke side from the straight jacket position is really difficult. And even once they fall into that side, the percentage of finishing the choke is still very low, right? Unless you're somebody who can wear, unless you're MMA and you can wear the person down by punching them in the face, straight jiu-jitsu, if you get them to the choke side, it's low that you're going to actually be able to finish the choke, because they have so many defensive weapons against your one offensive weapon. So again, remember, the person has their free arm and their chin against your one arm trying to choke them. So they have two defensive weapons against your one defensive weapon. And if they're strong and they can break the grip, they'll have three defensive weapons, maybe against your two if you have a free arm to work with. Okay, so they're still going to outnumber you with defensive weapons to your offensive weapons. So we're really trying to isolate that free arm. We want that. We want to isolate that free arm so we have a higher percentage chance to finish the rear naked choke. We're just gonna get to the choke from a different position. So instead of setting up the rear naked choke from the straight jacket or the backpack position,
we're gonna set it up from the turtle. Okay. Again, this is fun for MMA because you can be here, get inside and start to roll the wrists in to get the person to break down. MMA, boom, boom, boom. We're punching it in the face. Jiu-Jitsu, you're probably just digging your hand in until you get into this position. You get the choke around the neck. All right. Finally, once you got to this position, you'll use your knee that's in the rear, your rear knee, to put it between the armpit and your front heel to dig inside the hand. Even if you're not able to get to your hand inside, you're still going to be able to get to this position here. Once you get to this position, you want to start to fall to the side where you have the leg, because that's how you're going to get the arm trapped on the bottom side. So where the person's lying on their arm. And this is the position where you can start to begin to sneak the rear naked choke in. And then we can finish with a traditional rear naked choke finish. Or you can finish with the one hand rear naked choke finish. It's the same. Holding the shoulder, C cup hold, keeping your back or your chest attached to their back, bridging in and pulling that elbow back. But you're gonna have, because your elbow is blocked by the wall, by the floor, it's blocked by the floor, it's gonna be difficult for you to pull your elbow back in this position, and on top of that, you have their body lying on your arm. So most likely, it's gonna be a lot easier for you to finish with the traditional rear naked choke position, right? So from here, you guys can kind of see how the rear naked choke works a little bit better if you have them falling into the choke side. And then the one arm choke works better if they're falling to the open side, right? Because it's going to be a lot harder if they're falling this way. Go back to the straight jacket position. You have obstructions in your way both ways, right? So if they're falling to the open hand, it's going to be difficult for you to get the rear naked choke because you're still trying to hold on to this arm and you're obstructed by the floor to pull that arm out to get to the rear naked choke. That's one. So better you go for the one arm choke when they're falling to the open hand side. Two, if you fall to the rear naked, if they fall to the choke side, let me turn this camera down. If they're falling to the choke side, it's going to be difficult for you to finish the one arm choke because your obstruction on the choke hand is the floor, right? So your floor is going to determine, where the floor is going to determine if it's better for you to do the rear naked choke or the one arm choke. I forgot what the name of that choke is called. Do you guys have any questions? Do you want me to go through the, actually, I'm going to have Cha and Sarah demonstrate the choke from the turtle. Do you guys need me to demo that one more time before you do it? Good. So we're in the turtle position. Cha's going to roll the wrist in. She can punch the person in the face if she wants to get her to open up. Or jiu-jitsu style, just dig in for the choke and grab the shoulder. All right, before you go here, so say, before you fall to the side, Cha, you want to start to dig, use your knees to dig in for Sarah's leg, so Sarah's arm with your legs, remember? So you want to start to use your hand, there you go, and start to dig in for her arm and trap her arm with your legs. From here, you're gonna fall, not that way, not that way. You want to fall this time to the choke side. So let me show you how I fell. The dummy. There you go. Fall to the head. There you go. So now we're going to fall to the choke side. Exactly. And from here, you can finish the traditional rear naked choke. So you can let go of her wrist. Right. Hand underneath. Boom. Good. So demonstrating it. Do you guys have any questions? No? Amy, questions? She's good to go. All right, awesome. Okay, you guys, give it a try. You don't need to pull her over either. You just want to make sure her hip is pinned, and you can shrimp out just a little bit, Sarah, if you want, so her hips fall to the floor. So you don't want her to be able to hop over your hips. And then you finish the choke. Fall towards the head. There you go. Yeah, it definitely looks like it's better to isolate that arm first and then go in for the choke. Then the hand isn't there to defend against the choke as you're putting the hand again across the neck. All right, you guys look in real quick. So I want to go over where you need to grab for that shoulder grip. So my coach always told me, grab a C cup grip. You want a C cup worth of grip that you grab behind the shoulder, right? And when you're grabbing behind the shoulder, I kind of made little shoulder girdles, as you can see on my dummy. You want to grab not to the side of the shoulder. You really want to grab behind and be practically grabbing that scapula. And you see how I pretty much have almost a C cup grip. Sometimes when I get to this grip, it's very difficult to get this grip. But this is the grip you need to get to know that you're in the choke position. If you're having difficulty and this is all you got, walk your fingers up, up, up until you get back here, okay? Once you've gotten this grip, this C-cup grip, now you can start to use your chest, project your chest forward, and pull that elbow back, right? That's what you're doing. Chest forward, elbow back. That's how you finish the choke. So where you can see I'm creating that squish by pushing my chest into the person's back and pulling my elbow forward. I'm really compressing by using my posterior chain. If my chest is not attached to the person's back, if I don't have anything supporting, you can see even because this dummy is it's a dummy, it's just, if I don't have any support on their back, they're just gonna slip down, which is exactly what people do every time when they're trying to escape this position. So using your chest as a wall behind the back is imperative. All right, questions? If not, back to it. Yeah, so isolate that arm first, Amy, and start to go in for the choke. Nice. Now we want to fall and to the arm side, and really pin that arm to the floor. Allow your leg and their body weight to pin the arm to the floor. And then finish the choke. Yeah. She wants to hop over. You're in the she's in the crucifix. It's still a bad position for her. You can throw your leg over here, Sarah, to trap her hips. So it should be, there you go. So then it's going to be a little bit more difficult for her to hop over. But you know, if you just take that hook out and she hops over to the other side, she's in your crucifix now. So just try to keep your chest attached to her back if she does hop over, and you still have the choke on the other side. Yeah. Maintain control of the arm. And again, the choke is going to be a little bit of a side bridge. So you're going to be, you don't want to be finishing the choke flat on your back. You're going to kind of bridge up because you want to throw the shoulder into it. So if you see me from maybe this angle, that's better. All right, I want his chest attached to my back. I'm here. So I don't want to be trying to finish the choke back here. I want to bridge in, project my chest forward. I'm on my feet and I'm pulling this back. And so I can see, you guys can see the angle of my shoulders, but I went from being flat on my back to being kind of on the side. And I'm projecting my chest forward. And so, Sean, you usually don't have to use your hand to dig for it. Typically, I will keep my foot in front of them because that's when people want to reach. Like they want to reach for your leg. You're kind of using it like bait. They want to try to grab for it. And then now you have the leg and just kind of scoop it in. Good. And now you can start to dig in for the leg. And if they're not reaching for your leg, because most people are going to be here. They're usually not here. If they are kind of here, you still will use your knee. So I use my knee first in the elbow crack. And I'm here, and I'm using my knee to dig this out. So I use my knee to dig this out, the elbow out, get the elbow free. Once this is free, it opens up. Now I can dig my foot in. I usually don't have to, I've never had to use my hands to grab for the arm and pull it out. It's usually either the knee or keeping my foot here as the bait and then wanting to swim in for my leg. And then I just gather it from there. Okay. Use your heel to your elbow and that kind of little elbow crease, that spot, that little opening. Yeah, and dig it out. Did you guys freeze? Oh, no, you guys have the gi, if you're doing that because you're trying to hold the gi, you have like the clock choke instead. It's a little bit more of a viable option. No gi, you can kind of still sneak in there. Yeah. All right, you guys got 15 minutes left. Try to chain everything together. So we have two different options. Okay. We have falling to the opening side, right? We want the person falling to the opening side, and typically they're going to choose to go that way anyways. So they fall to the side, we post, stomp on the hip, and then we trap that top arm, all right? We can start to do the choke from here, from this position, or we can have them walk out to the crucifix and finish the choke from the crucifix. Now what I want you guys to do is to practice your exit, okay? So I'm gonna take my hand from the choke position, transfer it over to a Kimura lock. This is usually when people are going to be like, I'm trying to get out, trying to slide their chest down to the floor because you've created that opening. So you're gonna take this top hand, wrap it around their neck for the guillotine choke, and you can begin to step over and bounce. There's a possible guillotine choke finish here. Sometimes their head slips out, that's okay. Now you have the mount position. All right. Second one is you're setting up the choke again from the rear naked. This time they're falling towards the rear naked choke, but you're losing it. All right, they're starting to escape. You're going to grab across the body, work to the mount, or they've completely escaped your legs altogether. You're going to throw them to the side. Keep your chest connected to their back. Bridge. Walk around. Smash them to the side. Get your hooks in. Back to the back. All right. Then I want you guys to start working on the turtle. So they're in the turtle position. Turtle. All right, we're here. I have the wrist, digging in for the arm, falling to the choke side, and finishing the rear naked choke from here. I can let go of this hook, this top hook. The person can tap to the crucifix side, and I still have the choke from this position. And then I go through my exit. Any questions? Questions. Nope. All right. Let's get it. Put it together in any way you guys find beautiful. All of the things.
You may be muted right now, Vaughn.
Okay, time for Sarah and Amy. Continue to drill your dummy. Sarah and Cha. So I'm gonna have one person start in their the turtle position. Whoever gets to their guard or to their feet. So to the guard or to their feet, or they end up on top. If you're in turtle, then you guys will switch top, reset. Just reset. I'm gonna have you guys, one person on top for 2 minutes and the other person will switch. All right. The goal for the person who's on top is to finish these chokes, to either get to the crucifix or to the straight jacket position, and finish a submission. It could be the rear naked choke, it could be any submission that you have in, but it's to finish. Okay. Questions? All right, awesome. And okay, you're gonna go to 6:58. Ready, go. Get to the back. Get to the back. Try to snap her down. Ah, nice. Same person on top for until 6:58. Down. There you go. Mom, Sarah, get to your guard. Work to something. There you go. Dig out. Start to dig it out. Use your heel and her elbow pit. There you go. Nice. Oh, switch top to bottom. Okay. Sarah's gonna go till 7 o'clock. Go. Watch the legs, Sarah. Watch the legs. Try to get back on top. Try to get back on top. Try to get back on top. If you drive your knees to the ground, you'll be able to hide the leg lock. Drive your knees to the ground and hips to the ground, you'll be able to defend against the legs. Stay smashing. Stay smashing. You're trying to get up. Oh. Going. 1 more minute, Sarah. Oh. There you go. Nice. Keep your chest attached to the back. Nice, nice. Start to isolate that arm. So focus on the grip break first if you need to. Yeah. So it's the serving if she's pulling that hand down, you gotta serve the plate, hand on top, ratchet till her grip breaks. You have the arm isolated, then you start to get your choke in deeper. But you have literally all the time in the world. This is a bad position from her, and it looks like you have that arm isolated. Beautiful. All right, look in. Everybody look in. I'm interested to hear Cha and Sarah's comments. It looks like you both got the choke. That was awesome. I love to see that. Something's working. I want to hear what's working for you. Are you still on mute?
Yeah, just even just getting the back control, I feel like is better because she's very like, Sarah's very wrestly up kind of person, and I don't think in those terms. And so the first time she just got up and I was like, I just got to get you down. I just got to like flip you on your back or like something. Yeah.
Yeah. The live coaching tips were great there with the grip break. Everything certainly makes sense drilling, but as pathways go this way and that and hand fighting and it, things get confusing, obviously within spars.
Yeah. But yeah, no, it looks like you guys were both able to apply the techniques, or at least the concepts for the techniques, not like the technique fully, but at least the concept of isolating that arm. How did that feel? How did that feel to be able to get to a point of success by isolating the arm versus how you've been training before?
I've had trouble trapping arms, so definitely
it's hard to keep an arm trapped. Like once you secure it, it's secure, but there's trapping the arm and getting it to the secure spot. Anything in between that is them getting loose, right? So I think that's hard. Like I still haven't figured out how to like get to the secure spot fast enough. Like a lot of the time I'll fight that arm with my legs and try to get it there, but there's still so much room for the arm to
move. Where do you feel like you're getting stuck as you're trying to move from your, so you now you're understanding why I'm saying to get your foot from in front of the body to behind, right? Why it's more secure to get your foot behind the body, because the arm, you're literally pulling the arm from in front of the body where it's easy to move and escape your leg, versus behind, where now the arm is behind the body. We're not made to really manipulate things too well behind our body. And two, the arm is going to be pinned behind their body and also between their body and the floor. So it's way more secure to take your heel and use it to pull the arm behind the body that way. So as you guys are doing this more and doing the drill more, try to take note so you can verbally communicate to me where you're getting stuck, and then that'll help me communicate back to you how to get unstuck. But I think right now it's just kind of figuring out why it's difficult for you to get your foot from in front to behind, right? Do you have the answers for me now, or we'll have to come back?
I mean, it's not necessarily getting the foot from, obviously they're trying to get their arm out.
Yeah.
So like you're just securing it with your heel, right? So there's still that they have that ability to still snake out as you're moving the foot.
Okay. So what I do when I'm trying to secure the arm is I'm trying to dig my heel into this space, and I'm talking about the elbow pit. If my hand if I'm trying to just dig for the wrist, there's a way more play for the arm to move and to get out versus if I'm trying to dig for the elbow pit here. right? So maybe I might initially get to my heel to the wrist, but I'm really trying to dig through and get the behind of my knee pinched behind that elbow pit. And that helps me keep the arm a lot more secure versus trying to keep the attachments at the wrist, right? And the attachments just at my heel, because there's more joints between here and here than there are between here and here, right? So the more joints means more movement, means it's going to be a lot more difficult for you to keep that type of control. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's helpful.
Okay, cool. So try that out. Let me know how it goes, and then we'll figure out from there. Any other questions from you too? No? Okay, cool. Amy, questions? Or just comments, because I know you're with your dummy, so.
One question from Turtle. I have this problem where, like, if I take my left hand and wrap it under their armpit to grab their left hand, they trap it and roll me over. Like people like, 30 pounds heavier and stuff. Do you have any advice there?
Yes, I do. So the way people are able to trap and roll you is if they get control of your elbow. All right, so you don't want to do your arms so far through they're able to wrap around your elbow and clamp your elbow to their lat muscle. Now, with bigger people, it might still be difficult because they might not have to trap your elbow in order to roll you because there's such a huge size differential. But that's usually the general rule. So as I'm going for my wrist control on a person, I want to keep my elbow, let me adjust the camera so you can kind of see downward. I want to keep my elbow relatively shallow. So I'm trying to keep my elbow from being down at the hip to above the hip. This also helps me pull the hand back into the chest, okay? And once I'm pulling, if I'm leaving my hand, just look at it from this perspective instead too. So if my elbow is at the waist, the hand is going to be further away from the body. Now, as I retract my elbow and start to get my elbow behind the person's body, the arm naturally comes closer to their chest. Okay, so that helps me with the wrist roll and helps me keep them smashed against their own arm, so that the person no longer has two equal points of base. So you're trying to do this. One, bring the hand in, right? So the hand is now on the floor, but you also want to suck your arm back so it gets to their chest, and now they're going to be falling over, and you've pretty much broken down one of the legs of the table. That's one thing, is just getting that arm elbow back. The other thing is that elbow behind the body serves as a really great sensory point for just tracking the person's hips and where they're going and how they're moving. So I think next week we'll do movement from the turtle and how to break people down, just how to read from there. This, your elbow, when it's behind here, it acts as a really nice crowbar, right? So if your elbow is here, you're going to be using more lat, and that's not, our lat muscles are pretty big and strong, but they're not really that strong. It's a lot more helpful to have your elbow behind the body and use your elbow as a crowbar to manipulate the person's body too. All right. Was that helpful for you? Okay, so try that. Let me know how it works. And just a rule of thumb, if you're turtled up, you're gonna try to trap that person's elbow. If you're on top of somebody in turtle, try to keep your elbow shallow and free. Any other questions? All right, you guys. Well, this was fun. We'll see if I can get into 4 Elements. I should be able to get into 4 Elements this Saturday and try to be there on Monday. So there's more space for you guys to see me. Yay. Rolling around. In the meantime, feel free to hit me up if you have any other questions. Enjoy the rest of your holiday day. Bye for now.
All right, thank
Thank
you.
you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.